In June 2025, Meta paid $14 billion for a 49% stake in Scale AI, a company whose workforce trains AI models for OpenAI, Google, and Meta itself. That workforce earns a median of roughly $23,000 a year. And the month before the sale closed, the Department of Labor quietly closed an investigation into whether Scale AI was paying those workers fairly. Scale AI didn't build the intelligence behind ChatGPT, Gemini, or Meta AI. It built the workforce that trained those systems. Roughly 60,000 contractors, college graduates, PhD holders, professionals of every kind, who read, label, rank, and review the outputs that turn a language model into something useful. And without those workers, the models do not improve. The AI companies know this, and they've spent years building a system specifically designed so that they don't have to acknowledge it. Okay, so the system works like this. AI companies at the top, like OpenAI, Google, Meta, they hire intermediary companies to manage the workforce. Those intermediary companies hire contractors. And the contractors have no employment relationship with the AI company at all. When the work is done, the contract ends. When the contract ends, there's no severance, no notice, no health insurance, and of course, no certainty about whether another contract will follow. This is not a side effect of how AI is built. It's literally the architecture. This is Barely Human Labs. We cover the stories that the press releases specifically omit. Subscribe if you want to know what's behind the announcement before the announcement's made. Okay, so to understand why this system exists, you need to understand what AI models actually need. The companies building large language models, they have a problem. The models are only as good as what they're trained on. And as they push toward more capable systems, models that can reason at expert level, write code, perform medical diagnosis, give legal advice, they need training data from people who actually understand those domains. They need doctors, they need lawyers, they need engineers. They need people with PhDs in philosophy, biology, mathematics, linguistics. The pitch from Scale AI and its competitors to those workers is straightforward. Your expertise, which you spent years acquiring, can now be applied to helping build the future of artificial intelligence. You will do this as an independent contractor. The work is flexible, the pay varies. Alexander Wang founded Scale AI at 19 after dropping out of MIT. By 24, he was the youngest self-made billionaire in the world. So Scale AI's clients, they include OpenAI, Google, Meta, and the U.S. Department of Defense. Scale generated roughly $870 million in revenue in 2024. Meta then acquired a 49% stake for $14 billion, the largest outside investment Meta has ever made. The workers who made all of that possible are on platforms called Outlier and Remote Tasks. They have no employment relationship with Scale AI. They are contractors who take tasks as they become available. According to a September 2025 report by the Alphabet Workers Union and the Communications Workers of America, 66% of data workers spend at least 3 hours per week sitting at their computers waiting for tasks to appear. They're not paid for that waiting time. Only 30% are paid for time when no tasks are available. The median paid work week is 29 hours. The median hourly wage is $15. The annual earnings that produces, roughly $23,000. Okay, so the AWU-CWA study surveyed data workers across the United States. What they found was not a workforce of people supplementing other income with flexible gig work. It was a primary workforce with primary financial obligations that the work could not reliably cover. 86% of those workers reported worrying about meeting their financial responsibilities. A quarter were on public assistance, like food stamps, Medicare, the same public assistance programs that the AI industry describes as inefficient government spending are the programs keeping a significant portion of its own workforce alive. The work isn't just financially precarious, though. It is psychologically demanding in ways that are only now becoming documented. In January 2025, a group of Scale AI contractors filed a lawsuit alleging psychological harm from repeated exposure to disturbing content, like violent imagery, graphic material, the kinds of outputs that AI safety teams need reviewed and rated so that models learn not to produce them. Scale AI's Outlier platform did not notify contractors in advance that this content might appear. The lawsuit alleges they had no warning, no preparation, no psychological support. The Department of Labor opened an investigation in 2024 into whether Scale AI was complying with the Fair Labor Standards Act, specifically around fair pay and worker classification. That investigation was closed in May 2025 without publicly disclosed findings. 1 month later, the $14 billion sale to Meta was announced. 2 labor lawsuits against Scale AI remain ongoing as of the time of this video. Scale AI's response to questions about worker conditions has been consistent. The workers are independent contractors, not employees, and the company's working to improve their experience. The $14 billion company, built on $23,000 workers, called the investigation a vindication. The workers' lawyers called the ongoing lawsuits an open question. If you've ever done skilled work on a platform that could end your contract tomorrow with no explanation, this channel is for you. Subscribe. Okay, so here's what's actually being built, right? In 2019, a researcher named Mary Gray published a warning. She said the data work model could represent the beginning of the Uberization of all knowledge work, on a relentless quest to consume expertise and become its sole provider. The AI industry would seek to create a gig version of every professional job, acquiring bits of knowledge as cheaply as possible from a growing underclass of credentialed workers with no other options. That's not a prediction anymore. It is a description of what is currently happening. The logic of the system is precise. AI companies need expertise to build more capable models. They cannot hire all of that expertise directly. It would be too expensive and too visible. So they use intermediary platforms to access it at contractor rates, on demand, with no employment protections, and with the legal liability for those workers sitting with a company that the AI giant has no formal relationship with. The workers who train the models that will eventually replace professional roles are already working at poverty wages to build that replacement. The gap between the value those workers create and the compensation they receive is not a bug in the system. It is what the system was designed to produce. The economist Darren Acemoglu has described the ideology driving this as an elitist attitude toward most workers. A belief that human input should be minimized, that automation is always progress, and that the fewer humans involved in any process, the better. That ideology has a billion-dollar infrastructure behind it. The regulatory response is beginning. In California, Assembly Bill 2653, the Sweatshop-Free AI Procurement Act, would require that when California buys AI tools with public money, the data work behind those tools complied with basic labor standards. It's a limited measure. It does not reach private procurement or the federal government, but it is the first legislation in the United States that attempts to define a floor for how AI training workers should be treated. The companies whose models that bill would affect, they're currently valued in the hundreds of billions of dollars. 3 things worth knowing. First, if you're a professional considering data annotation or AI training work, understand the contract before you sign it. The pay per task is often not the same as the annualized equivalent of what you would earn in employment. The AWU-CWA report is public and specific about what these contracts actually look like. Read it before you commit to one. Second, the labor lawsuits against Scale AI are public record. If you work for or have worked for a platform owned by Scale AI, Outlier, Remote Tasks, and experienced conditions similar to those described in the lawsuits, the contact information for the law firms involved is publicly available. And third, California AB 2653 is in the legislative record. If you're in California, it exists and it is being tracked. The vote matters. If you want to go deeper, the full AWU-CWA report, the lawsuit filings, the legislative history, BHL membership has it sourced and linked. Link below. This is Barely Human Labs. We experiment on modern life in the age of AI. Subscribe because the next platform is already hiring. The contract will be very flexible. The pay will vary. What it will not include is a pension.